If you take a bird's eye view of Japanese history and raise one unique feature, what is it? Many might mention the national isolation policy that Japan carried out during the Edo period for 214 years. During that time, Japan minimized contact with the world and developed its own common people's culture as represented by ukiyo-e and kabuki. But I'd like to mention two other unique points in Japanese history. One is the existence of Jomon period, and the other is the continuity of culture since the Jomon period. And I think these two are important factors that form the uniqueness of Japanese culture and religions. Furthermore, I think that these factors are related to the reason why Japanese Christians count for less than 1% of the population. What is the Jomon period? In terms of age, it refers a period of about 13,000 years, from about 16,000 years ago to 3,000 years ago. It corresponds to the Neolithic era in the world history. Differences between the Paleolithic period and the Jomon period include the use of earthenware and bows and arrows, the development of polished stone tools, the settlement, and the spread of pit dwellings. So why does the Jomon period occupy such an important position in Japanese history, and can be one of the uniqueness of Japanese history? One reason for this lies in the fact that the Jomon period had the characteristic of Neolithic period, but did not engage in the full-scale farming. The Paleolithic is the first stage of human history, and the second stage is the Neolithic, which began with the start of agriculture. The Jomon period in Japan has distinct characteristics not found in the Paleolithic period, such as the use of earthenware and settlement. However, the Jomon period does not involve full-scale agriculture, which should be the essence of Neolithic period in world history. This is the uniqueness of the Jomon period. I think that this uniqueness of the Jomon period had a great influence on the subsequent Japanese culture. Moreover, I think that the foundation of Japanese religious consciousness was cultivated in this area. One of the triggers for the transition to the second stage of human history in the Japanese archipelago was the production and use of earthenware. However, there was a big difference in usage between Japanese Jomon pottery and Eurasian pottery. On the Eurasian continent, potteries were used to store and serve farmed food or for offerings. However, Japanese Jomon pottery began to be used for cooking food from the beginning. The Japanese archipelago was covered with forests and surrounded by abundant seas, and therefore natural food was abundant. In addition, pottery for cooking expanded the range of edible items. Therefore, the food situation became stable, and it became possible to settle down without full-scale farming. This is why the Jomon period was so unique in world history. Namely, the Jomon people settled in the village, cooked with earthenware, and were blessed by the blessing of nature, without the active work on farming on nature, and built an advanced culture belonging to the Neolithic era. However, the nature of the Japanese archipelago was both rich and harsh, The Jomon people were also under threat from earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and typhoons. The Jomon people were grateful for the blessings of the forests, rivers, and seas, and at the same time were in awe of the destructive power of the earth, seas, and winds. These feelings toward nature became the basis of Shinto, which was later born in Japan. It was a polytheistic religion that found each god in each rich natural things. And another uniqueness of Japanese history is the continuity of culture since the Jomon period. The worship and awe of nature cultivated over 13,000 years in the Jomon period was passed down to the next Yayoi period and even to the present day. Shinto inherits the spirit of Jomon people in the form of religion. Next time, I'd like to talk about the relationship between continuity of Jomon culture and Japanese religion.